Hi everyone, Rosie here, Brittany Daly and Roger here from Rivet Real Estate, and we're here today bringing you information that I think is pretty common out there, but not enough talked about. It is about flex listings. So, what are flex listings? Bree is going to take you deep into it on what they mean and what they are all about. All right, we have something called flex listings. They are now available in our MLS. What does flex listing really mean, right? Some of the listings they're not ready to go on the market right now, and if a homeowner wishes, we can actually make it available to all the people who have access to the qualified buyers and give them a low exposure start where before we didn't even have that opportunity. Either we were full market launch, there was no runway to the full market launch. So flex listings actually is a very unique strategy. And matter of fact, if you're a buyer and you're not liking anything that's on the market and you are looking in the low inventory areas, which they still are out there based on what we have been looking at, you're going to absolutely love flex listings because who has access to it? Bree does. So flex listings allow us to show you something that is not fully available to the market yet, but we as experts have access to it because we pay for these platforms.
So basically what's really nice about a flex listing, is it's basically almost like what coming soon used to be. They got rid of coming soons, but look at this. Flex listing, and I'm just gonna say Austin, just to see. 89 matches that are flex listings. Now, what's interesting about a flex listing is it can mean multiple different things. So when we go right here, you see list price. This property right here is a flex listing, but there's no price yet, meaning they're still working on the price or they haven't discussed the finalized price yet. But you can see that now this one is, brand new construction, not finished yet. But it's interesting because you can kind of get, like you said, if there is an area where maybe there aren't a lot of listings or you're looking for something like really niche and specific, we can kind of find what's coming soon. And then we can obviously reach out to the agent and find out what is the price, what's going on with this property, when are y'all expecting to go on market, would you accept an offer off market, right? It's basically almost like an off market listing.
People think, okay, if it is available, can we go see it? Yes. So if you give us a call and you like this, at least give yourself a shot of looking at something that is not available to rest of the market before you make a decision to buy something, right? And a lot of people out there who are not having access to these things, they look back and say, ouch, I should have waited. I should not have gone under contract and spent all the money on inspections. And I didn't know this nice house was coming up. And sometimes people do exit out of the contract. And guess what happens? They end up losing their option money, inspection money, sometimes appraisal money if the contract has already moved into the financing period, and a lot more loss and just like unnecessary remorse. Enjoy flex listings in market.
I just think that as much marketing as you can do on your property and all the different avenues, it just helps your sale.
Yeah.
The more boxes you can check off, the better. Including flex listing is a perfect example of how you're maximizing that. And then I know, Rosie, you do a few things for your listings, like you change out the doormat, like you put in a new doormat. So like when people are there, trying to access the electronic lockbox, they're spending a few minutes at the front door, and it gives them that feeling that they're walking into a really nice listing. So it's just like those little things. It's about how many boxes can you check off.
Yeah.
And staging and great photography and all of this stuff. And when you compile it together, you're creating a client experience.
I was going to say two things. Number one, everything you're saying is right. On the listing side, it's really nice because you're able to almost pre-market. Everyone always wants a pre-market, right? But there was no way for us to truly pre-market besides the other channels that we had. But this is a way to get true exposure throughout for all of the realtors that have MLS access to look at your property before you have the staging complete, the photos complete, because there are a lot of things that can mess that up. For instance, we had a snowstorm happen here recently, and if you had photos scheduled on that day, you had to push your go live date. But now you can pre-market the property and say, hey, look, we have this property. On the flip side, on the buying side, like you were saying, some buyers they want to see everything, right? And they want to make sure that they're making the right decision. This is a way to remove the ambiguity as to what if something else comes available. And you can actually see this is what's going to be coming available soon. It's not fitting your criteria. Okay, well, that other house that's already on the market that does, now you can feel more comfortable going into that one.
And I was thinking on the same token, Bree, thank you for expanding my mind in all these little areas I wasn't thinking about. And I was thinking, you know, when the sign goes in the yard or the flex listing is about to be active, it's not quite active yet, you know, it's still in flex status. It gives your neighbors a chance to get the first peek because they're like, okay, is that address online yet? And so they want to know about it, and you're kind of creating that craze around the property, you know? Yeah, it's really exciting.
I'm excited for flex listings. I love it. I'm using it for our investors, for our buyers. I know Rosie's using it for the sellers, and I think this is another game changer in real estate.
And you know, how many people, I don't know, when I first bought a house for you, I can't tell you how many times I went and put the address in the search bar to see all the different listings throughout the years. And if the house had ever been on the market before, and I just wanted to see you want to kind of look at it from all aspects, you know? And so when the sign goes in the yard and again, why is that significant? Because the people who are living in the area that want their family nearby are going to be the ones to want to pay the most for the property. You know, they're the ones that are going to want it more than anyone else.
All right, guys. So I think we have sold you enough on the flex listing and what we can do for you on that. And so if you're sellers, you know you can pre-market. Ice Storm in Texas doesn't have to decide your destiny. If you're a buyer, then you don't have to compromise on a home and miss out on something that's beautiful and more attractive for you to buy. So on that note, see you next week. This was under 10-minute market update for you about flex listings. See you next week. Bye-bye.